Hello, everybody, and welcome to Noobs R Us GT3 Rookie Series Season 7, I think we're on. Race 3 at Monza. We're going to do a combined race today. It'll be a 60-minute race. No, we're not doing a split race like usual. And everybody's combined up. As you can see on the left side of the screen there, it says 53 above the drivers' names. That means there's 53 cars on track tonight. The boys are here ready to mingle. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Tizo Galalalala. Hello. Nico, hello. Bonkin Bonkin, hello. 53 is a big number. It is a big number. 53 drivers on track, okay? The drivers are going out to start their qualifying. This will be the pro drivers out for the first 10 minutes, and then the AMs will follow. So they're going out and starting their hot lap or their out lap now. We should have no AMs out on track at this time. We will have people that deliberately don't qualify, and they will be starting from the pits. That's fine. The AM drivers that cannot put down a fast lap, can't put down a valid lap, they can start from the backs. That is part of the rules. However, if they are deliberately trying to avoid that lap one, turn one chaos, they are required to start from the pits so that they're not part of it. So we've got a bunch of drivers coming out now. It looks like right now we got Kanya and Figgins leading the way. You can see them driving down and weaving, trying to heat up their tires. Except for Figgins, he's trying to kill himself. We're not going to be able to see that very well. Oh no, Mr. Figgins. That's why you don't do that. Kanya will be leading now at this point for his first hot lap as he crosses the start-finish line. There it goes. Did James fix his car? He did not, so James will not be doing that. Drivers are starting to slow down. This is great to see. We're seeing a little bit of politeness, building space. You're going to be P27. Okay. That's the way it'll be, I guess. Kanya leading us around. Turn 3. Up the hill into turn 4 and 5. While they're doing this, let's take a quick look at today's track. Everybody knows Monza. We're going to be doing Monza in Italy. The length is 5.793 kilometers or 3.599 miles. There's 11 turns. There's a rough elevation change of only 12.8 meters, which is a lot more than I expected. 41.9 feet. Where's it at? Nobody really knows. Last AM winner on this track was Greg Landry, I think I said that. Ferrari 296. He did a 149.250. We'll see how the AMs are going to pace up tonight. See if they're able to do that same thing. Right now, Chase Jones is our current lap record in the Porsche 992 with a 145.955. So, what, 3.5, 4 seconds faster than Greg last season. Move back as Nick Kanye comes around the final corner now on his first hot lap. Let's see how he does. Jaden, you've got to be able to survive a race without dying before you can move out of AM. So as long as you keep dying, you're fine. Nick Kanye, 47.290. Harold was actually able to put down a time right behind, faster than that, a 47.252. You can see on the right side of the screen there those fastest laps, showing 12 of the 53 cars currently. We're only going to see the top 12. You can see how close Harold and Kanye are, and then Gerber in third is a whole car length behind. Willems has just taken that place, and then Gerber's now there. Kosovo's moved up in his black Mustang. Someone has been killed because of a dive bomb and got hit by you. I mean, that's the way it is. You didn't die. I'm not saying dying. I'm just saying bonks and moving back because of them. You got to be consistent without bonks. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, moving on. Looks like we have some other drivers starting to cross this finish line. Let's see what we got here. It looks like we have a couple people that are not able to put down a lap yet. Figgins is one of them. He's just now starting his hot lap after that crash on his out lap. He's doing pretty good now. We'll see how he does. Casey Swanseeger. Let's see, I'm going to make sure I'm watching this correctly. Qualifying best. Here we go. Casey Swanseeger's up on his time. Nearly 3/10 improvement. James Kosoboon is making a 3/10 improvement as well. 3/10 for James is not going to be enough to move him. However, Kosoboon 3/10 will move him up into P4 probably. If not more than that. We'll have to see what happens. I mean Swanseeger if I say Kosoboon after that. We're seeing some improvement still. Kosoboon up 3/10 still. Have to see how he does as he comes into the final corner now. Making an improvement on the way in. Will he make an improvement on the way out? Not a lot. Looks like he's going to be on pace on the way out of the corner, meaning he is consistent. This is an improved time as he crosses the start-finish line, staying in third. Next driver to make an improvement is Gerber, but Swanseeger, I believe, is coming around the final corner. There he is. Up 2/10 on his time, so he did lose some time in the third sector of the track. Only 1.3. So it is an improvement. He will move up position, maybe. Yep, there he goes, up one position above Gerber. Tony Danzig, as he's coming through turn 5 now, is up 6/10 on his time. Last lap he did was a 48.992. So he is not really rapid, but with that improvement, that'll move him up. Probably within the top 10, or maybe the top 5. We'll have to see what happens here. It goes underneath the bridge now into turn 8. Breaking right under the next sign. Danzig. It's kind of weird seeing him driving a Ferrari after seeing him in the Lexus and the Mustang and all those other front-engine vehicles. So 6/10 up still. It's going to be a great improvement as long as he doesn't lose any time on the way in. Keep in mind, we are split qualifying. That's why you are seeing drivers in the pit. So these Pro-Ams and Pros still only have 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to qualify. Crossing the start-finish line, half a second up, moves him up into 9th place. Mike Burkhoff coming into the third sector now, up almost a half a second, losing a little bit of time on the way out of turn 10. We'll see how he does. He's in 6th. He just got overtaken. We'll see what happens as he goes into the braking zone of Curva Parabolica. The final corner. Looks like he's a little bit wide, so he's going to lose a little bit extra time here. He's not up that half a second anymore. He's just trying to improve by 1/10. 1/10 will move him up a position. 2 positions up into 5th. Top 5 for Mike Burkhoff. We got Rolando Ramos coming around the final corner now, up a whole second on his time, nearly losing a little bit as he comes out of the final corner. All these drivers are losing their time. It means they're too early on the throttle or too late on the throttle. One of the two. I'm not good at this. Up in 8th though, so that was a good improvement. Nick Kanya up 3/10. 3/10 will move him above Russell Harrell if he can hold that time. Russell's in the pit, so I think he's good to go. About AM showtime, you're right about that. We got 1 minute and 20 seconds left before the AMs can go out. They may start lining up in the pit lane. They're welcome to do that. They just cannot leave the pit lane until that 10-minute mark. Nick Kanya lost all his time through that last sector, trying to gain a little bit more of it as he goes in on the gas early. He is making an improvement. Not going to be enough to move up, though. 47.152. He still has another lap. He can absolutely do this. Get out there, Jaden. Go do some laps. Gerber up nearly a half a second on his time. Coming around the final corner. He's trying not to go wide. He's losing that time because of it. So he is going to make an improvement. It is not going to be enough to move up into the top 3. He's going to be in 4th. He still has another lap. He can absolutely still do another lap. 30 seconds left for some of these drivers. They are all crossing the start-finish line now. Who's making another improvement? Furnish is out here. He's coming around the final corner now. Up 4/10 on his time. 48.665 was his. Moving up now. There we go. He's going to move up. We're going to move into the pits. I don't know who we got moving out now. You can see all those AMs on the left side of the screen. Let's see. We jump on with... Who do we want to jump on with? Lloyd? He should be in the line. There we go. Look at all those AMs antsy to get out there. They can start going. There they go. Out on track. There's Jaden. We still have Kanya out on track trying to make an improvement. He's got to make it as an improvement right here, and it's not going to happen. He's actually slow. Turai is making an improvement on his time as he goes through turn 8, 9, and 10. He's trying to hold that improvement as well. We'll continue watching these pros as they try to improve their times. Turai up nearly 3/10. 3/10 could move him above Kanya. Nearly. He's 2.5. Braking earlier than he has before. To get on the gas earlier, he's making an improvement on the way out. This is good. Ooh, it's going to be close. Oh my goodness. 47.045, overtaking by about a 10th. Anya starting in third because of that. Bullet for T1 is crazy. James Kosovoon still making an improvement on his time. Half a second up, crossing the start-finish line. Half a second moves from fifth into fourth, overtaking Gerber. Mike Burkov improving his time as well. Ooh, he's going really wide. Trying not to invalidate. Up 2/10 on his time from sixth. Staying in sixth. Swanseeger's still out. No other pros are out at this time. The AMs are starting to cross the start-finish line in, let's see who we got crossing now. P40. Glenn Jacobs? Glenn Jacobs leading the AMs across. He is starting his hot lap now. And that WRT Aston, I believe last week he was in the Noobs R Us. I think he goes back and forth every other week. These drivers here are the AMs. They're going to be in the middle of everything. So they've got to really work to not kill each other in that lap 1, turn 1. There's a line of drivers right now. There are so many AMs out on track. Look at that line going into the final corner. That Glenn might end up catching up. Who's in 29th? Is 29th on a... Yeah, 29th is on a lap. And he's got to come to a slow here. Which sucks. I don't think he's actually on a lap. He might not be. But these drivers need to start cruising through as Glenn is catching up. Oh boy. Oh man, Glenn's going to be upset. All of that just to be in the back of the pack. There he goes, down the back straight. This is why sometimes it's not always the greatest to be the first out. He's on his hot lap and he's going. He said, I don't care, I'm moving. And now he's off track, so it didn't matter. He's invalid anyways. Unfortunate. We are seeing some other drivers still trying to get valid laps in. At this point, these drivers should just go. So Glenn is going to try and get another lap in. You know he's frustrated. We do have Metcalf has done a valid lap. He is the only one right now with a 50.765. Ooh, and he's trying not to rear end that guy there. Sliding out. This is qualifying, everybody. Metcalf now has to wait for everybody to try and get back on track here. He's just going to go to the pits. He said, screw it, I put down a time. It's oversaturated with just AMs. I'm just saying. And we're putting the pros on with them. This lap 1, turn 1 is going to be wild. I believe we're going to be a green light while these drivers are still not around the final corner. We do have some drivers making improvements on their times finally. We'll look at Caesar. Nick Caesar in the middle of a group here, but he's up half a second. Had 3 seconds to spare with no lap put in, and then put one in for 6. Good job. After that spin on the out lap, I'm surprised. Caesar's still making an improvement on his time. Wells is up 2 seconds on his time just going into the first corner. That must have been because of the weird passing and all that stuff that they had going on. I want to see how Caesar does. He's up nearly a second on his time. He's done a 51.480, but with a second up, that's going to move him into the top group of the AMs. I don't know who this Skillet is and why he's out. He's showing a silver. Wonder if he was a late joiner or something. We'll just see what happens. Looks like he belongs here right now. We'll see what happens. We got Nor out there as well, showing gold. But I don't know why he would be gold. So we got some weirdness going on with the colors here, and I'm hoping that gets fixed. It's not going to be fixed before the next race, but I wonder if these drivers are here because the other split was full. So we'll have to see. I'm going to talk to Drew about that really quick. Okay, so we've got randoms on track. Okay, I see what's going on. Sorry, I'm chatting with Drew here. All right, I'm back. All right, Mr. Furnish in chat, hello. David Alicea, is he racing? I didn't even see him. I don't think he's racing. But I understand. I get it. Jeremy Nor has done a 148.7. I don't know why he's still out on track. We got some weirdness going on. So just what I received from Drew is he didn't turn on the entry list. There is an entry list, but some randoms may have joined is what he's saying. I think everybody is signed up. I just think they're in a weird place. So I'll leave that to their... I'll leave it to Drew and all right. It was Will's fault, probably. You had one job. That's okay. It is the way it is. We do have lots of improving times on track. We do have, like I said, silvers mixed in. I think this could be because of the lack of an entry list and enforcement of that. So, but Scott Sullivan up a whole second and a half, almost 1.1 second. Jeremy Hayes up 1.7 seconds on their time. We've got a huge grid right now. It's hard for me to keep up, and I do apologize for that. So 1 minute left in qualifying. Crossing the start finish line, moving up into 32nd. Right now, first place for the AMs is Carl Banning. He's making an improvement on his time. Garrick Bennett is in second, 3/10 up on his time as he's coming into the third sector now. Going wide, I think he's invalidated because of that. And Mackey gaining time into the third sector as well. All of these drivers in the top three are still making improvements on their time. Do I get a shout out for Pro Pole? You already did for being in third. Congrats. It's funny that the Pro-Ams are ahead of you. Isn't that weird? Drivers are starting to pull off to the side. Qualifying is more or less finishing. Some drivers are like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just going to go in. Carl Banning still making an improvement on his time. Not for long. Banning right on the tail of, who's that ahead of him? I can't think of the name. Sorry. Banning Chanley is ahead of him. Sorry about that. But he is making an improvement, crossing the line, moving up into 24th place overall. Yes, you can. Just got to make sure we have the qualifying replay. But yes. All right. The drivers are coming to an end here. We still have a couple other drivers out on track doing their final lap here. Nobody really making any improvements. Let's see. Yeah, looks like Skillet's about to make an improvement. Dodger up 7/10 as he's coming around the final corner now. 7/10. He's done a 49.4. 7/10 will move him up into the 48s easily and into the top 20. We'll see what happens. 8/10 up. 31st up into 19th. That puts him in third overall, I believe, for the AMs. So we got Nicholas Dwyer in 7th. Nicholas has been with us and is an AM, so we got some weirdness going on here, guys. Nicholas might not belong there, so we'll have to see what happens, guys. Drivers are starting to come into the pits, still improving times. Jacobs, oh my gosh, we just saw a spinning BMW. I think that was Mike Cook. I don't know who that is. Yeah, he has been an AM, but he's been quick, so we'll have to see if he continues. Jacobs moving up a little bit in position. Caesar coming around the final corner, improving his time. Might go wide. Not really, but he's not going to make an improvement around the final corner because of that. Brown just behind him, making an improvement on his time. Not going to move up, really. Maybe a couple positions into 40th. There we go. Scott Sullivan coming around the final corner, up 6/10 on their time. Scott Sullivan showing silver plate. Don't know if he's red. I don't know what's going on with that. It's that's just the way that's going to be. I'm getting message requests. I'm also streaming. I'm not going to look at those message requests. So that is that, everybody. Drivers are going to start pulling in on the grid. If they don't want to race initially, that is fine. They don't have to. They can return to the pits. I need to hit drive is what I need to do. And I'm going to quickly go through all of these drivers, okay? And then we're going to look at it like this, okay? P1 overall, Russell Harrell. P2, Adam Turai. 3, Nick Kanya. James Cosboon in 4th. 5th is Austin Gerber. 6th is Will Figgins. 7th, Nicholas Dwyer. 8th, Mike Burkhoff. 9th, Will No. 10th, Jake Willems. 11th, Douglas Furnish. 12th, Rolando Ramos. 13th, Sebastian Zulsdorf, I think. Zulsdorf. 14th is Carl Banning. 15th, Greg Clark. 16th, Casey Swanseeger. 17th, Tony Danzig. 18th, Garrick Bennett. 19th is Shane Dodger. Rounding out top 20 is Joe Ligioso. That one's a hard one to say. In 21st, Devin Anthony. 22nd, Jeremy Knorr. We're going to zoom in on the cars as they pass the camera here. Joe Allenson in in the 76 car in 23rd place. Wes Jones in 24th. Mike Cortez in 25th. 26th, Justin Hauser. Alan Mackey, 27th. 28th is Kyle Skillett. 29th is Ryan Chanley. And rounding out our top 30 is Eric Metcalf. 31st, Christopher Chan, Jaden Lloyd in 32nd. Sean Bramer in 33rd. C.W. Wells in 34th. 35th is Jeremy Hayes. And then Jaden Sneed in 36th. 37th, Glenn Jacobs. Tyler Plunkett in 38th. Nick Caesar, 39th. Rounding out top 40 is R.L. Brown. We still got some more to go. 41, Chris Capps. 42nd, Mike Cook. 43rd, Isan Gok. 44th, Shane Sullivan. 45th, Lan Cloud. 46th is Charles Apgar. Patricio Castro in 47th. CR Race Time, 48th. 49th is Vladimir Beluga. Rounding out the top 50 is Kevin Willems. 51st, Bill Dixon. 52nd, Drew Freiberger. And last, certainly not least, Alex Londar. That is our 53 drivers for tonight. There's 53 on track now. How many will be on track at the end of the race? I would say less than 40. Thoughts? How many spins lap one? No idea. With all of that said, I'm going to run an ad. It'll be 2 minutes. We will rejoin with the drivers out, starting their out lap, okay? Thank you for the follow, Dweeks boy. Appreciate it. 2 hours ago, Mr. Minty Hippo 99 followed. And yeah, hopefully for plenty of us. Hopefully for us, plenty. For the viewers, yeah. Those of you that are subscribed, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Noobs R Us appreciates it. 60-minute race. I'm going to take a moment to grab myself a drink and relax. So, just looking, there's only one single car in the pits. Meaning, only one person wants to start from the pits. And that's Land Cloud. Everybody else is willing to drive like grandmas, like I said during the briefing, into turn one. Hopefully it ends up like that, driving like grandmas into turn one. Not biased with that statement. You went 24th and down to be in an accident? Or you want everybody 23rd and up in an accident? I was going to say. As Wes Jones chased his old man. Being that you're the better driver, I would say that you're his dad. That's the way it's going to be. And he's your 10-year-old kid. Okay? We'll just leave it at that from now on. This is going to be a wild race. 53 cars on track. I think this is the most cars we've had on track on any stream ever. So just putting that out there. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Once again, we are at Monza. We'll quickly go over the track. 5.793 kilometers. There's 11 turns. A little bit of elevation change. Chase Jones, you have done the fastest lap with a 145.955 in that 992. And I think you could go faster if you weren't driving that. Okay, 11 turns. It's going to be a 60-minute race, 58-minute pit window, okay? He said if I get caught up in any shenanigans, I'm sending more heat down to Nico. The drivers are coming through and into the final sector. The grid is nearly a whole sector long. I'm just putting that out there. From P1 to P52, it takes up nearly a whole sector. So, it's massive. I'll watch the lead driver. Let's get this music turned off and get this race ready to go. Get out of here, sweaty ass. Get a job. You could have done a lap too, Oscar. Oh, goodness. We're already seeing dirt, guys. We're going side-by-side formation around the final corner. This grid is going to get really tight. I'm worried about it. 52 drivers on track. 53. We got one in the pits. Looks like maybe another in the pits. Carl Banning in the pits. We've got a couple, okay? Getting ready to cross the start-finish line now. Should we go to Helicam? Green Chevron, thank you for the follow. We're about to go green at Monza. 52 drivers on track. Everybody should be driving like grandmas. Into the start, or into the turn one. Here we go. There we go. We're going to start watching all of these cars go in. I'm going to try and move in here. Look at that. Look at turn one, everybody. Look at that. Look how safe everybody's being. There is some dirt. Oh, my goodness, guys. There's some spinning. There it is. We're seeing it now. It took 38 cars, guys. My goodness. That was actually really good for a turn one with 50-something drivers on track. That was awesome. I'm extremely happy with that. With all of that said, Russell Harrell came out unscathed. Kasaboon was worried about it, is in 5th. Hooray for murder. David, hello? It happened. Thanks for the sub, David. 7 months. Let's go. Even better than how they are usually in real life. Yes. I had to tell everybody to drive like grandmas, and I think for the most part they did. However, that means the train, looking at Casey Swanseeger over here, actually looking at Dodger right behind. There's still a train of cars, guys. Maybe a little bit further back. Meaning lap 2 is going to be dangerous too. Okay? Talk about maidens when the only woman you touched is your mother, and is crazy work, Chase. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, there's a car in the wall there. Who is that? Casey Swanseeger, it looks like. Leading us on the first lap is Russell Harrell. Crossing the start-finish line nearly a second ahead of Adam Turai. I'm going to move back here. Actually, we'll watch it down the straight. We'll watch this over again as drivers start going into turn 1 again. This is lap 2. Turn 1. Shenanigans are about to begin. See if there's any more death. There is! There's more death! Car 11, that's Gerber right there. Got spun around. He's trying to get a rejoin going. There he goes. He's backing up. He said, yep, there we go. So, only 1 death so far for lap 2. That's not terrible, though. I mean, we're doing pretty good for a rookie series. We may have more going on further in the back. Race time. Got into it. It's not horrible. I'm just saying. And the people that did get caught up, like in 51st, who is that? Cloud? He's catching up. He was somebody that started in the pits. We got Shanley and Banning still in the pits. They're not racing. I don't know what's going on with that. With that said, we do have battles going on between Kanya. Ooh, and there's a bonk between Kanya and Turai. Down into turn 8. Kanya's going to hold that position on the way in. We're going to start watching battles now as we go, guys. Hauser side by side with Mike Cortez as they go down the back straight into turn 8 as well. He's going to kind of back out. Moving back, you can see Wells is trying to go for the send on the way into turn 8. He does get alongside. Not able to get the overtake done on Plunkett. Plunkett's going to hold that position ahead. A lot of good racing already. Moving way into the back here, guys. Allenson trying to get around Willems ahead. This is Kevin Willems. We do have 2 Willems on track, so we got to keep that in mind. Allenson trying to get the better run on the way out. He does have the better run. He's gone a little bit wider. He's alongside him now in that pink Porsche. As they go into turn 11, he does have the overtake completed. It's going to be defensive, though, so he doesn't complete the overtake or reverse the overtake there. Willems now has Bramer just getting around him as well, so he's just being a little bit cautious, which is fine. I think this is going fairly good. Let's move up. Wes Jones. Wes Jones off track. What happened here? Let's back this up a moment. What happened with Wes Jones? Ooh, broke really hard and had a couple people sent to the inside. Ends up hitting car number 11 again, going off track. That is unfortunate for car 11. I think that's Gerber. All right, guys. It has been a couple of laps now. We're on lap 3, and we still have 50 cars on track. So we're doing pretty good. Gerber has been trying to get around drivers and been hit by them. He is one of the faster drivers on track, but now he's in the mix with all these red plates. He's not used to being around. He's got to try and be better on the braking. Devin Anthony's trying to get... Oh, he's getting overtaken, it looks like, by... who is that? Joe Lioso. Joe, not able to get his nose all the way in. Actually ends up getting overtaken on the outside by Jeremy Knorr. Moving up, Mike Burkhoff. Around the final corner, Mike Burkhoff is going to tuck to the inside of that Mustang of Nicholas Dwyer, not able to complete the overtake or fully get alongside. Now he has to worry about Douglas Furnish. Furnish going alongside on the outside now. Going to have a little bit of speed. He's going to follow the draft of that Mustang ahead, see if he can get the overtake done before the turn. Rare Felsia Racing livery spotted. Oh my goodness, Furnish outbrakes himself. Safely goes through the barricades and continues on. Evan Anthony not able to get an overtake done into turn 1. A lot of these drivers being a little bit safe, which is fine. 488 is a GOAT. Yes, it is. Mike Burkhoff in that 488. We love that car too. My favorite, I think it has the best brake lights out of most of the Ferraris too. Moving all the way up, guys. We got Turai and Kasabun going at it. Kasabun able to get the overtake done through turn 6. Turai trying to get the better exit. Going a little bit wide there. That's fine. Going down the back straight now, trying to stay in that draft. He's got Figgins behind to worry about too. Figgins going to the inside. Not able to complete the overtake. Just trying to throw Turai off. Doesn't look like he fell for it. But Turai did fall off of Kasabun. He's got some work to gain, or some ground to gain there. Burkhoff still trying to get around Dwyer. Ooh, we got a spun car in the back of 26. Will Figgins. Let's see what happened there that caused this. Oh, it looks like he just hit the curb, went wide, and then stayed on the gas. Figgins, once again, doing a self-induced honkin' bonkin', if I say so myself. Moving on. We got a 3-wide situation around the final corner. Dwyer's going to try and hold this off. Once again, Furnish is on the inside. Doesn't want to outbrake himself like he did last lap. So they go down the straight towards T1. Into the braking zone. Not able to get alongside, but doesn't outbrake himself, so he's good to go. Moving back here, we got Jaden Sneed alongside. These two drivers, brand new. I've never seen them before. Sneed and Ligioso was alongside as they were going into turn 1, but he backed out a little bit, so giving a little bit extra space. That's all fine and dandy. Let's move all the way to the back here with Metcalf. Metcalf on the tail of Dixon. It looks like he's going to go to the inside. Backs out. We got a Porsche ahead. You saw that. Ooh. Oh, and there's a spin. And he's just trying to drive through him at this point, causing more damage than he should have been. Vladimir causing more incidents than he should have done. Hopefully the damage isn't too bad for anybody. It looks like he's got quite a bit on the front end of his vehicle there. Mike Cook now alongside Chanley, a back marker in the mix. We got a train going on in the back here. Wandar. He's kind of got a mix of cars around him. Race time. Trying to gain some ground. Or rather run away from Cloud behind. Allenson side by side with Chanley. Chanley's a back marker at this point. You can see that other BMW trying to push his way through. Slipping a little bit on the back end there. I believe that was Mike Cook. It was Mike Cook. A lot of damage to the front end of the vehicle. These drivers do have a pit stop they're required to make. The pit window is open. I'm almost wondering if it... Oh my goodness gracious! Chanley slipped around and Mike Cook just runs right through him. Now off track. Probably got a decent amount of damage to his vehicle now. He already had a lot to begin with. Trying to rejoin the track. All right, moving up. Furnish trying to be defensive to Mike Burkhoff again as they go into the first chicane, turn 4 and 5. Mike Burkhoff going to gain that ground in the braking zone. Get a better exit if he can. Into turn 7 now. He's going to try and get as much draft as he can. A little bit of slipping, but he was tighter on that entryway. He's tucking in now. Furnish is going to stay to the left side here. Be a little bit defensive. We'll see if he actually stays there. Is he going to? Mike Burkhoff considering going in for the send. He's not going to do it, but he will stay right on his tail. Ends up hitting too much Sasha's curve, kind of going a little bit wide there and losing time to Furnish. as they go down the back straight in through Sector 3 now. Still got a large train here, guys. Looks like Devin Anthony's leading this train from P7 all the way to P22. This train of cars. We got a lot of different trains going on too, so they're all over the place. Sean Bramer actually getting alongside. It looks like that was Vladimir. Vladimir with that severe amount of damage. Vladimir getting the better run here. Bramer going to post right in the middle of the track. Cloud? Hang on just a second. I got 4 more messages. Jeez. What is going on? Leave me alone, everybody. All right. Cloud on the tail of race time. Not going to be able to tuck in. But he is going to try and close the gap up. He is getting a better turn. Going over the Sasha's curves. Closing that gap to race time ahead. Just needs to get the better exit here. It looks like race time went a little bit wide. Race time already staying in the right side, trying to be defensive here. Yep, race time going to stay on that defensive line. He's going to move towards the outside. Defensive enough to keep Cloud from getting the overtake done. Cloud going to the inside, slipping a little bit as he does. Not going to have the better exit. Once again, on the inside line. Not a lot of gap to be closed up, but if he's able to do better in braking, he may be able to get better... close up the gap a little bit as he goes through turn 1 and 2 and get a good run down turn 3. He's just losing a little bit of time, trying to gain it back. There he goes. He's closing that gap up a little bit. Not enough speed to get another overtake done or overtaking opportunity. We're going to move up to Swanseeger. Swanseeger's alongside Zuldorf. Zuldorf actually holding that on the outside line. Casey staying really narrow here. Better exit looks like for that McLaren ahead. Casey now has to be defensive to that Ferrari behind. Ferrari's considering going to the inside. There's a bonk. Oh my goodness. That wasn't a Ferrari, was it? Yes, it was. No, it isn't. Lamborghini? I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, that's a back marker is what that is. I'm wondering what I'm seeing here. Another... It's a Lamborghini, you guys. Why can't I speak properly? This is a Lamborghini. What was I seeing? Anyways. Casey in the mix here. Got Dodger behind, Clark ahead. Clark is hoping that Swanseeger and Dodger end up battling so he can start looking at Zolsdorf ahead. But Casey does not want that to happen. He wants to pull away from Dodger and get the overtake done. Casey's got to use all the track to try and get the better exit. All these drivers on pace with each other. No time gained for any of them as they're all in draft going down the straight. Just got to be better on braking now at this point. See, Dodger's now outside of that draft range in the back there. Zuldorf leading this train of 3. Kind of splitting up a little bit. Casey, it looks like he's trying to close that gap a little bit again. Not going to happen. We're going to move up to Jeremy Hayes, it looks like. Hayes. Ooh, alongside through turn 6. That is a scary place to be alongside. There's a car off track. Don't want to hit anybody there. My goodness. Hayes trying to get the overtake done now. Looks like it's completed. Bramer now wants to get the overtake done as well. You can see that damage to that Ford Mustang ahead of Sullivan right there. It's going to allow the BMW to get around. Sullivan's going to tuck in behind Bramer. Oh my goodness, what was that? Slid out, hit the wall, spun around. He is in a bad place. He's driving backwards. He's driving backwards. Oh my goodness, Mr. Bramer. Whew. Going to rejoin on the track there. It looks like he has enough damage. He's going to stay off track for a moment. Ooh, my. Another car, car 13, or that's Cloud actually is who that was. Let's back this up. I want to see what happened to him. Looks like he may have just taken too much curb, went wide. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Snap oversteer after that. Oh my goodness. This corner is claiming some cars' lives, I promise you. Getting wild. So P1 through P6 are all outside of a second of each other. And they do have cars in between them, so it will get kind of weird. P7 is actually just behind P6. Trying to gain that ground. Casey Swanseeger still going at it. You can see this line. Swanseeger says, I'm going to try and overtake two of you at once. Only gets around one. Actually, there's two there. As Sneed, that's a back marker, gets out of the way. Swanseeger now has to be on the defensive to Clark behind. Clark's going to go to the inside. Casey says, you know what? If you want it, you can have it. He's hoping that he'll outbrake himself and end up having to go through the high-speed swervy lane. I can't think of the name of it. The overrun. There you go. Nice safe driving through turn one. All right, guys. As you can see by the track map, the grid is splitting up fairly well now. Looks like we've got, it says 55 drivers. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know why we'd have 55. With all of that said, oops, Swanseeger trying to get another overtake done. Not able to get fully alongside, but the space was given to him by Clark ahead. He's alongside now. Going to try and outbrake into turn 7. Side by side on the way through. A little bit too much bump. That's going to cause a little bit of time loss. You can see that Lamborghini behind, trying to get behind the faster driver. He's going to get behind that McLaren. This is the better place to be. That'll allow him to get the overtake done on Casey Swanseeger. He's actually going to back out. Ooh, there's a little bit of bump on that McLaren ahead. No real time loss there. A lot of battles going on all over the place right now, you guys. Biggest battles are right here in this grid. This mid-pack from 11th place. Got some back markers in the mix. Clark is still just trying to be as defensive as he can. See a car coming out of the pits. Casey Swanseeger going hard to the inside. Oh my goodness. Got to try and be able to outbrake and move in. He is going to be on the inside of turn 1. However, turn 2, he's alongside of. There's going to be a bonk. Casey Swanseeger gets the overtake done on Clark behind and is now going to just try and run away and hold that top 10 position. Clark is not going to give up, though. You can see, considering peeking into the next chicane, trying to throw Casey off. Casey's starting to run away a little bit here. It's not going to be enough, though, to get out of the draft. He's got to really start pulling away. He's got the better exit. Clark's got the draft, though, and he's kind of closing back up. Dodger right behind, though. You can see Dodger right behind Clark, tucking in that Lamborghini. Casey Swanseeger is now outside of the draft range and running away. That was a lot of battling for Casey to try and get around, but Clark's got to lead this train. He's going defensive. And stay in the middle of the track there so that Lamborghini doesn't get around. He's going to hold that position. You can see Dodger behind. And then Will Figgins is a back marker, but I think that's due to a pit. He pitted at lap 5. But Figgins is very fast, so he may try and get around. Dodger, once again, right on the tail. Figgins is going to go for the overtake on Dodger. He's going to back out as he goes into turn 1. Dodger doesn't want to race a back marker at this point. If I were Dodger, I would just let Figgins by and try and follow him through the next couple corners. Clark is caught back up to Swanseeger. Swanseeger now has back markers ahead of Londar and Martinez. Let's move to Skillet side by side with Joe. Is that Joe? That was not Joe. That was Bennett. We got some weirdness going on in my thing here. Bennett, Skillet, and Chan all fighting for this 12th place position. They come out of turn 3 down the last bit of the straight of sector 1 into turn 4 and 5 now. Bennett's going to try and run away and get the better exit. Not going to happen. Skillet's actually got the run. Moving to the inside. Not going to go for the overtake. Chan's got the better run on Skillet now. Chan's gone really far to the inside, broke, and moved back to the outside. That could have been dangerous. With that said, we are going to start seeing some more drivers go into the pits here shortly. I'm going to run a quick ad break. We're at 38 minutes. Actually, you know what? Let's wait until 35 minutes. We'll give it another 3 minutes, then we'll do the ad. Get that out of the way. Adam Turai getting around some back markers. It looks like P1, yeah, same thing. P1 through P5 are off. Now, Willems is trying to get an overtake done. This is Jake Willems on Mike Burkhoff ahead. Mike's being defensive down the front straight. Willems not going to go for the overtake, but he is going to try and close the gap up into turn 1. In his Galactic Ghost BMW. Mike able to get a better run on that exit. Mike does have a back marker ahead, and Willems is now has Dwyer behind to worry about, but not extremely close. Apgar letting these drivers pass in that Mustang, just staying slow. Ooh, Willems looks like he went off track. I don't know if that was deliberate or not, but he went off track. Staying defensive for Dwyer behind. Castro. We got a couple drivers in the pits. Looks like they're stuck there. They're not staying. Some drivers going into the pits. Figgins in the pits for a second time. Dwyer still trying to get that overtake done on Willems ahead. They go into turn 8 now. Into the third sector. Mustang does have the power down the straight to catch up. You can see that gap is fairly large between Willems and Dwyer. Mike Burkhoff is caught back up to Douglas Furnish and pulled away from Willems again. This battle between Furnish and Mike has been wild. Ooh, Dodger. Now on Clark. Through the final corner. Dodger is going to try and get the better exit. Looks like he's not going to have the better exit, but he will have the draft. Will it help him down the straight? Not a lot. The gap will close, but will it be enough for an overtake? We'll have to see. They're about halfway down the straight now. Clark is going to be just offensive enough to try and keep Dodger from going in. Dodger trying to close the gap into turn 2. It's worked a little bit. Once again, he's just got to use the draft. Jeremy Hayes moving down to P29. Hayes and Gok racing for that 28th position. The battles for positions have started to spread out. People are starting to jump in the pits now. At least from the top half. Wes Jones trying to get around Mike Cortez for that 18th position. Wes is up 6 positions from where he started. Chris Capps behind him in 19th is up 22 positions from where he started. So we do have some people making amazing ground. Phil Dixon as well is another major gainer. You can see right there, 29 positions up from where he started. All right, guys. Let's watch this little bit of battle from Mike Burkhoff and Douglas Furnish, see if either of them go into the pits. He hasn't been going into the pits. We are going to run an advertisement, and I'm going to take a quick drink break. We will be right back. Those of you that are subscribed and you're able to see and hear everything, thank you for being here. Thank you for the subscription. We do appreciate it at Noobs R Us. It does help us out. Overtake opportunity for Mike Burkhoff into turn 6 is not able to complete that. He wants to get this over with and a round furnish before Willems catches up fully again. A lot of drivers going into the pits, kind of shaking up the grid. Got Martinez racing Gerber. He's not actually racing Gerber, he's just close to Gerber. Trying to see where everybody is here. Metcalf trying to get around Caesar. Metcalf does have that damage on his front end from the earlier on crashes, and has done a pit stop. So that tells me that he did not fix his damage in order to minimize the amount of time. I'm assuming he took fuel only and no tires. He's able to get around Caesar fairly easily. Caesar did a pit as well, so these guys are on lap with each other, fighting for those positions. Willems once again. Oh my goodness, we got lots of stuff going on with people coming out of the pits there. Oh, goodness gracious me. Did you guys see that? Holy. That was Dwyer, I believe, or Mike Burkhoff, actually. Rejoining behind the two. Trying to get the race going still. We've got a back marker in the mix of this, of Apgar. Apgar giving up the position to those drivers so he doesn't have to worry about it. Dwyer right on Mike Burkhoff's tail as they go through turn 4. I want to move towards the back here. See what else we got. I'm trying to get people that are on pace with each other. Actually, you know what? Anybody that's fighting for position is fairly fallen off. Dixon and Metcalf are still racing for this 30th or 29th position. Dixon not going to go for the overtake on the way in. He's losing a little bit of time. Metcalf ahead. Have some drivers jumping into the pits still. Coming out of the pits, etc. You can see Hayes is able to get around all these drivers as they come out of the pits. That's Douglas Furnish. Furnish decided he was going to pit and no longer battle those guys. Oh my goodness. Hayes going off track, or was that Gok? Oh, we got a whole spin going on. Let's back this up and see what happened with this. Looks like that was almost self-induced. Gok breaking in. No, it wasn't. He got tapped. Oh, come on. The lightest tap ever. From CR Race Time. That was unfortunate. With that said, Gok is right behind Kasaboon. Kasaboon did pit. Gok did not, so Kasaboon is technically a lap ahead of Gok. A lot of drivers in the pits, including Mike Burkhoff, Willems, Swanseeger. All these drivers coming into the pits now. They are at the exact halfway point. They said, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and do it. Ramos and Sneed racing into turn 1. Sneed is now technically behind. He's going to outbrake him on the way in with a bonk. No spinning. That's all good. Ramos is going to hold that position. Sneed does have Metcalf behind. Where is Kasaboon, you ask? Kasaboon, we saw him in the mix. He pitted early, so he's in 17th right now. He pitted on lap 11. So he's still waiting on all the other drivers ahead to pit. He did not die. Nope. Kasaboon getting around Gok. Completing the overtake on the inside. Hey, he pitted early, like nearly 5 laps before everybody else. I think he was hoping to get around people I think he may have been held up, so we'll have to see as these other drivers start coming out of the pits ahead of him. He's going to start passing some of these drivers now in the pits. Moving himself up into 14th, just behind Casey Swanseeger. Casey did pit, so there must have been a bonk of some sort because James is behind Casey. That puts him down 10 positions from where he qualified. Casey's not going to pit again, so he's got to work his way up through these next 4 drivers, 5, 6 drivers to get back in the top 10. Work his way back up to where he belongs. Casey Swanseeger right on the tail of Clark. These guys, I feel like they've been battling all race. Not really able to close the gap up. He's actually losing a good amount of time. Let's move back. Dixon alongside Sneed once again through the final corner. Down the front straight. He does have the run down the straight, and he's going to be on the inside line for turn 1. Cars coming out of the pits. This is dangerous. Potential 3 wide. Nope, backing out of that. He does have the overtake complete. He's going to be on the defensive line on the way in. Overtake's good to go. And holding that 25th position from Sneed behind. Now, there is a train of cars behind at this point. Trying to catch back up to all those other drivers. Ooh, what was that? Okay, never mind. It was a pit. I don't know what happened with Skillet here. Ooh. Kevin Anthony. Wes Jones going at it. Looking at the top, Nick Kanye is still holding the lead. He has not pit yet. Adam Touride did pit on lap 2, but he's in second. I'm just saying. So if he took enough fuel, he could continue to race. We'll see if he does another pit stop or not. If he does, that'll give second place to Dwyer and third to Harrell. Casey Swanseeger trying to get another overtake done into turn 1. Not really getting overtake done, but be overtaken at this point. Clark was being defensive enough. I believe in another lap or 2, Casey will be able to get around him. Clark not really going to be defensive. Casey not going to poke his nose in. Clark does have a back marker ahead of him. The back marker is Glenn Jacobs. There is some other battles going on. Mike Cortez and Jeremy Hayes going on. Oh my goodness, you saw a car off track trying to rejoin on the outside up ahead. Mike Cortez alongside Jeremy Hayes on the way out of the corner. He's trying to get as much time gain as he can, but he's lost so much speed. There's going to be a light tap, a little bit of paint swapping. Ooh, there's a BMW spinning off ahead. I believe that was Sneed. That was Sneed driving through the barricades. Tony Danzig in the mix. Tony, somebody we haven't really watched at all this entire time. A lot of drivers. Oh my goodness, there's that BMW again. Tony Danzig is now in the mix and battling for 27th place. I'm going to move back up to Casey. 3 wide situation. Casey thought about going to the inside of that. I think he's just going to follow. Who is that ahead of him? I think that is Kanye. He's going to try and follow Kanye through. It's not really going to work. He is losing a little bit of time on the way out of that corner. Kanye is in first place. 14 positions ahead. Well, not anymore. Got a couple drivers in the pit, so now 12 positions ahead of Casey Swanseeger. He doesn't want to battle either of these two. He just wants to get around him and go. Mike Cortez still battling with Jeremy Hayes. Jeremy Sneed still battling with Caesar ahead and Brown behind. That's not Brown behind. Who is that? That's Harrell behind. Harrell in 4th place. So Harrell doesn't want to be part of any of that. He just wants to get around him. See Russell going to the inside. Said, I'm just going to go for it in that Porsche. More or less gets the overtake done. Going to try and overtake the Ferrari as well. Leaving these two to battle on their own without having to worry about them. Sneed trying to close that gap back up after losing it for a short period of time. Mike Cortez still. The battles have kind of fallen off here, guys. I'm just putting that out there. There's 1, 2, 3 battles on track. and everybody else is trying to get around back markers. Maybe 4 battles. Willems has lost a bunch of positions here. What just happened? Either he lost positions or Zolsdorf ahead lost time. Willems going really wide. Fortunate. Going back to Sneed again. Sneed and Caesar. And they got Brown behind. Side by side out of turn 3. Going to try and outbrake into turn 4. Not going to happen. He's going to tuck right back in behind. With that said, we're down to 52 drivers. I don't know if all of them are on track. 1 in the pits, 2 in the pits. Jaden Lloyd's in the pits. Jaden. I don't know if this is his first lap or first pit or what, but he's in the pits. Willems still trying to catch up to Zulsdorf. Gerber in the mix now, trying to catch up to Caps. Caps being defensive in that Ferrari. Is that what that is? No, that is not. That is a Lamborghini backmarker. Ferrari spinning around. Oh my goodness, that was Caps there. This is a terrible place to be. Oh my goodness. He needs to wait and go. Oh, he needs to know. God, okay, go. Woo! He made it. He didn't kill anybody. He may have scared some people, but he didn't kill anybody. That scared the crap out of me, though. I tell you what. Whew. Whew, I'm okay. Need to resuscitate. Turai going into the pits. Or rather, coming out of the pits. He may have had a stop and go, it looks like. That gives Harold the second place position and almost an incident with a back marker in the mix. Jake Willems still trying to get around some people. It's Zolsdorf ahead. He hasn't really been able to get around. Caps is in the mix now. Casey Swanseger, where did he go? He's fallen off. There's nothing else going around Casey Swanseger. He's alone. We got some back markers or what is it? Is that a back marker you got around? Yeah. Of Glenn Jacobs. So I think our battle right now is between Mike Cortez and Jeremy Hayes. We got R.L. Brown as well. We'll try and cut to them if I see the gap closing. Mike Cortez right on his tail. Both these McLarens. Similar pace. However, Mike was able to get a much better exit and just get around him. Wes Jones off track. Kevin Anthony rather off track. R.L. Brown trying to close up to Sneed ahead. See him going for the inside. It's not going to be enough to get that overtake done. He's going to try and once again get a better exit so he can run down the straight. Both of these BMWs identical on power, so it's going to be hard for him to get a run. Mackey in the mix now, trying to get an overtake done on Mike Cook. It looks like it's going to happen. But he hits too much curb, spins around. Mike Cook luckily doesn't hit him. Mackey's now in a bad position. Should just continue that left turn. He's going to back up. Oh, my goodness. Wait, you got 3 more and then go. Okay, now you can back up. This sucks. I would hate to be in his position. There you go. There you go. That's kind of what I would do, too. I mean, what else are you going to do here, you know? All right, now go. Jeez. That's wild. All right, moving on. Willems is now falling off from Zolsdorf. He's just inside the... Nope, I said that. He's not. He's outside of the slipstream range now. Hauser closing up the gap to Ramos ahead. Ramos has a lot of back markers ahead. Either back markers or lead markers. It looks like they're back markers. And so he's going to get held up. These two are racing ahead, I believe. They are. For 45th and 46th place. That's Cloud and race time. And then those two are racing behind on the lap ahead. So it's kind of a weird position to be in. You can see him sending it to the inside there. And trying to run away. Cloud is still right behind race time, though. You can see him right on his tail. James Cosaboon in chat having curse words to say. Cloud. Right behind race time. There is a back marker in the mix. He wants to just get around him. You can see he's trying to go side by side. There it is. But that BMW is going to move to the outside. He's going to lose the draft. He already is overtake complete, but he's going to stay on the inside, maybe a little bit to the outside. That Lamborghini has to make sure he brakes in a timely manner, has to not overtake or hit. There he goes. He missed his braking point. He's flying straight through. That was, woo! That was race time in the mix of that. That was wild. Moving up, we got Sean Bramer. Caught up to Drew Freiberger ahead. Both these WRT drivers. Drew Freiberger. And we haven't seen him much on track. Same with Sean. Both of these drivers have been staying fairly uneventful. I think that's a good thing. I don't see a lot of damage on their cars. Happy to see. Kind of falling out there. Wes Jones is catching up to Snead ahead. And he's got to worry about Devin Anthony behind. Devin Anthony is actually behind a back marker in the mix, or a lead marker. I believe that is a WRT driver of Turai trying to get around. Jones lets him around. Now he's got to worry about Devin Anthony behind, fighting for that 29th position. Wes going to stay hard on the right side. He's got an overtake opportunity, it looks like, on Snead. Snead has now got to worry about Devin Anthony behind. Overtake complete. Jones is hoping to run away at this point. A lot of battles starting to reform on track. Try and catch them as they go. A lot of battles. These two right here, still Snead, Jones, and Devin. See Snead on the outside. Jones is way too narrow for this corner. He needs to move more towards the middle. If he had, he may have been able to get the overtake done, or rather hold the position, but it wasn't really going to work. Now he's got to worry about Devin Anthony behind. Didn't really get a good exit either, so Devin is going to try and close that gap a little bit, but Jones is going to tuck into the slipstream, try and pull it back apart. There it goes. Devin Anthony moving to the inside. Is it going to be enough for the braking zone? It's not. Devin's going to back out. Once again, Devin's got the better exit. Right on his tail. Up the hill towards turn 4. Jones needs to move to the center and stay defensive. He's not going to. Devin's going to just go wide and get alongside. Into the braking point. There's a bonk. Jones goes through the overrun. Continues on. Mackey and Freiberger are going at it. You saw it just for a split moment with that McLaren and that Mustang. Mackey going to the inside. Mackey down 9 positions from where he qualified. Has the pace to stay ahead. He is slipping quite a bit through there, which is going to allow Freiberger to get back up ahead. At least it was an interesting race. Hey, you lasted a lot longer than Nico thought you were going to. I'm just saying. Because when Nico checked in, you were still racing. Mackey falling off a little bit. I'm going to look at Allenson. Allenson extremely wide, off track. Able to rejoin without death. But now he's slow. I believe that's a back marker getting around him with Jake Willems. Yep, that is. So he's gotten around. He's fallen off of his competitor. Snead and Devin still going at it. Snead on the defensive line into turn 1. Devin more or less off track. Don't want to be there while you're braking. Oh my goodness, we got people off track. We got dust being blown around. Doesn't matter. We still have battles going on. Snead and Anthony, Devin, Caesar and Allenson on the way into turn 1. The trains are starting to build back up into turn 1 after being spread apart, or the whole grid being spread apart for so long on the last 15 minutes of the race. You were killed by a back marker. Casey legit runs into you. And then another person rejoins, stops in the middle of the road. I mean, that happens. It's racing. Will Dixon. Got a lot of crap going on here. Looks like Metcalf's able to get around now. He's got to try and catch back up. Dixon trying to stay in that slipstream of that BMW ahead. You see Metcalf being slightly defensive. Doesn't matter. Dixon's going to go way to the inside. It was extremely narrow. It's going to be alongside for a short moment. He's going to try and be narrow on the way out. However, we've seen this before during this race. You can be narrow if you want. You're not going to have the speed to get the overtake done on the way out. However, he is going to stay on that narrow end. Needs to move more towards the middle here. Got another Porsche behind. I believe that is one of the lead markers. Let's see. That is. That's Russell Harrell in first place. Doesn't want to block him. He goes extremely narrow again. Gets the overtake done. And there's the bonk between Metcalf and Harrell. These two teammate drivers. Metcalf going to let him by, knowing that he is in first place. He doesn't want to hold him up. However, Metcalf's got to try and not let too many people by, or he'll end up losing Dixon ahead. With that said, let's look at Isan Gok as he's catching up to Caesar ahead. Into the braking zone. Not into the braking zone yet. Got a good run on the exit there. Now they're going into the braking zone. He's outbraked him and turned in. Into turn one. Good overtake. Brown and Devin. I feel like Devin has been battling people. Look at that train of cars behind. I feel like Devin has been battling people since the beginning. Got Mackey and Mike Cook going at it again. Mackey on the inside again. He's able to stay alongside for a moment and then loses it again. Need to get a good exit here, but you're staying narrow. You're not going to get a good exit. There you go. Go wide. A little bit extra speed and use the draft. Oh, we got a yellow flag here. What happened? Let's back this up. We see stuff all over the road. Oh my goodness. There's another dead car. Let's back that up. Are we going to see what happened? There was crashes galore. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh, we missed all of that, and I'm so sorry. We will see the rejoin once again. And the bonk with that 450 car. He's now in the pits. Oh, that was Wells that got caught up in that. My goodness. Adam Turai is now racing Harrell for second place. Harrell got in that mix enough for Kanye to... I don't know if they actually caught up. I think Kanye was in first that whole time. I think I messed up what I was talking about. But Harrell is battling for second place with two right behind. Chan and Swanseeger going at it. Coming out of the final corner. Chan's on the inside. Overtake is more or less completed before the braking zone. He's going to stay in the middle or way towards the right. There he goes, moving to the outside now. Casey's not going to be able to get an overtake back. You can see all that damage to Casey's car ahead. Casey said, just go, man. Just go. And lets him run away. Mike Burkhoff's in the pits. Joe Ligioso behind Garrick Bennett, fighting for 13th. I believe we got some either stop and go penalties or people... oh, Mike's just got a severe amount of damage. I think he was in the middle of that crash that we missed. Look at Mackey and Cook still going at it, man. There's a couple battles on track right now. But Mackey and Cook are two of the drivers we've been watching. Mackey really wants that overtake done. We're down to the last 10 minutes of the race, everybody. Everybody take a moment, get a drink, relax. While you have a chance, the drivers do not. Ligioso, right on the tail of Bennett. These drivers are going down the back straight now. So Bennett is on the left side. That's that inside line. He's going to be defensive. Into the braking zone. Not able to get the overtake done. Got to try again. And then a couple more corners. Slipping. He's losing time because of that. Got to try and recover and catch back up. Patience. Patient. That's nice. Ooh, what do we got going on here? Oh, my goodness gracious. Let's back this up. I want to see what happened, guys. Drew Freiberger was alone, I believe. What happened? Freiberger goes wide, slips off, hits a car that's off track. That car rejoins. Yeah, gets hit by another car. Oh, my gosh. Element Future, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Maybe too patient OT. I appreciate that. With that said, that has moved some cars closer together that weren't. Oh my gosh, Dixon. Hold your brakes, hold your brakes. Clear the track. Oh my goodness. Dixon trying to rejoin again. These guys, oh my goodness, you got dirt on your tires, buddy. Relax. So we're in the last 8 minutes of the race. It's been a 60-minute race. If these drivers did not take tires, they are going through some pretty good tire wear, and that's why you're seeing a lot more slipping than we were early on. Hauser right behind Plunkett into turn 1. Trying to close that gap. Not going to happen. He's going to fall off a little bit on the exit. A lot of opportunities to get closer to other people, but they fall off into the braking zones. It looks like Mike Cook getting into it. Let's see what happened here. Looks like he got bonked by that Porsche behind and slipped out. Oh, that's unfortunate. We're going to go to Allenson 5 seconds before we can actually see that he is side by side with Caesar right now ahead. We can't see him yet. There we go. Now we can see he's able to get around Caesar in that final corner. Hey, Tubbs. It's all right, man. There's been lots of crashes and like a total of 50-something drivers on track. So maybe it's a good thing that you missed this one. Got a driver coming out of the pits there. We still have some battles going on. Hauser and Plunkett still going at it. Way in the back, guys. I want to take a look at this. Martinez. This was the leader of the AM split last week. Martinez was. But now he's in 48th place. Trying to get around Castro. Castro. We're going to go side by side with them. And the overtake's complete as they go into turn 4. 50 drivers. It was like 53 at the start, and it says 55 on the screen. The thing is messed up because of stuff. Mike Cook in another incident, looks like. Walking away more or less alone. Mike needs to go and just repair. 6 minutes left in the race, guys. Race time in an incident. These drivers are starting to get more and more antsy. Race time. As he goes into turn 7, let's see what happens here. He had a car on the inside. Looks like that car just missed his braking point, hits him, spins him, gets into another incident. Over and over again, we're seeing more and more incidents. I think we've seen more incidents in the last 3 minutes than we had in the first 2 laps, guys. And just a minute to be on the track. Yep, it's getting wild. Caesar spun out, same corner. Mike Cook. Mike Cook is trying to rejoin up ahead. Crash after crash right now, guys. 5 minutes. Take a deep breath, everybody. That's all I got to say. If you guys are watching the stream while you're racing, take a deep breath and relax. Mike Burkhoff, after being in the top of the grid, is now all the way in 29th. A lot of cars around. He wants to get back around. He's alongside Allenson. Overtake's more or less complete. That is who he's competing against. The 2 cars ahead of him. Jones is his competitor, but Jones is not near him. Is actually around the exit of the corner of turn 2 there. So he's trying to get around these back markers and catch back up. And around some other corners. So these are all back markers for Mike. Jones is catching up to his competitor. Ooh, here we go. Here's another battle. Bennett and Ligioso. Okay, there. Ligioso. Looks like he almost outbroke himself, falling off. A lot of drivers. These guys are getting very impatient. They end up outbraking themselves or going too narrow. I have to see what happens with Hauser as he's tucked in behind Plunkett down the front straight. Yeah, there are. This is a 60-minute race. This is not the longest race of our series. That would be the finale with a 90-minute race. So we're at the last 4 minutes. But there's a lot of impatience going on right now. Christopher Chan in the mix up here again. Trying to get around Dodger. Dodger in that Lamborghini ahead. Going wide. Dodger's now yellow flag. There's a car off track as well. Christopher Chan's now off track. Man, you guys, you're in the top 10. Stay in the top 10. Oh my gosh, it crashed down the straight. I want to back up and see what happened here. He just tucked in, moved to the inside. In an, unfortunate place to be for both those drivers. He backed off. My gosh. People are risking their entire races for the mid-pack. Oh my goodness, Dodger now trying to get back around. Casey Swanseeger's in the mix here. Dodger catching up to Chan ahead. Swanseeger, you can see him in that Noobs Arrest car 84 Porsche behind. The battles are starting to fall off again. Oh my gosh, another yellow flag. Let's back up and see what happened here. Looks like he just spun himself out. My goodness, you guys. The amount of yellow flags we're seeing is ridiculous right now. With that said, I want to get back on with Dodger and Swanseeger and Chan. Here we go. I'm back live with them. Swanseeger trying to get around Dodger. These guys have been racing nearly all race. Just in the mix with back markers. Luckily, none of them collected by them. Casey. These guys are all equidistant from each other. Dodger's gaining on Chan ahead. Chan moving to the inside, moves back to the outside. Casey, I thought was going to send to the inside, did miss his braking point and stayed wide. So he's going to fall off from that battle. We're on our last 2 minutes of the race, everybody. Roughly another lap, maybe two. 2 laps, probably. Will Dixon losing positions here. Or rather, Mackey is. Have we seen any undercarriages? If we have, it wasn't on my screen. But this has been a wild last quarter of the race. Lots of bonks. The first lap was awesome, and I kind of want to go back and rewatch it, but I think I might. I think we might open up the replay, go back and rewatch it. Tony Danzig in the mix of this too. Jeremy Hayes, Ramos. See Tony Danzig right behind in that Noobs R Us Ferrari, going wide, losing time. It seems to be the theme. End up missing your braking point, going wide.
Pit window is closing now.
Closing the pit window, guys. That is it. Anya is in first. He's about to cross the start-finish line. There will be one more lap after he crosses the start-finish line. He is on the final lap. As long as he doesn't get any incidents, he will hold that first place position. Dodger once again trying to get around Chan. Chan staying on the left side here. See if he moves. Chan is going to stay on that defensive line. Looks like there's a slow BMW head. They both have to move. Oh my goodness. My guess is that BMW did not have enough fuel and is just trying to make it to the start-finish line. Overtakes are happening. Bennett is in the pits coming out. Hauser want to move up to the battle between Dodger and Chan still. Nick Kanya is just starting his second sector. There may be a battle between these two for the start-finish line. I have to see. They're coming up on a back marker now. Last lap. Going to try and both get around, both really narrow here. Both getting around the back marker. See that Lamborghini going all the way to the outside. Both drivers side by side through turn one. Dodger still behind out of turn 2. He's moving to the inside, turn 3. There's going to be contact. Not heavy, though. Is he going to get the overtake done? They are still side by side. Chan is going to try and outbrake him. It looks like he's still there. They're side by side again. Oh, there's a light bonk. Nobody off track. Continuing on, 404 of Dodger's going to try and outbrake again. These guys are going to be side by side for a whole lap, it looks like. Oh, my goodness. Nope, not going to happen. Chan is going to run away here. Kanya coming across the start-finish line in first. Turai will be in second place, 9 seconds in trail. Across the start-finish line in second. Russell Harrell, 8 seconds behind him, will be crossing the start-finish line in third. Furnish in fourth. Nicholas Dwyer will be crossing in fifth overall. Jake Willems behind him in sixth. I want to watch this battle on screen. Seventh is going to be Zulsdorf. And then Greg Clark. And then 23 seconds behind is the battle we're watching. You can see how narrow he's being through the final corner. He's going to be as defensive as he can. He's going wide. He's going to just kind of pull back narrow again. Oh my goodness, this battle all the way to start-finish line. Not able to get around him. That was a good battle for Chan and Dodger there. Cross the start-finish line 9th, 10th, and 11th, respectively. Nor about to cross in 12th. 13th is Joe Ligioso. Gerber will be on 14th. 20 seconds behind is Plunkett, but he's got Hauser behind. These guys are fighting for that 15th place position. Is Hauser going to tuck in? He is. He's moving to the inside. Is he going to be able to outbrake him? Doesn't look like it. However, the track position has been given. Hold up just a second. He's able to get around him. That BMW was able to get around and is now up in 15th. What an overtake final corner. All drivers have finished the race. Showing 27 still out. I don't know who that is, but they're out there. Maybe that's this guy? I don't know what's going on. People are leaving. We're going to get people in the booth here shortly. I want to watch this first lap really quick, though. I'm going to save this. And I want to watch it out of here because it's going to reset. We are going to quickly take a look at the replay. I want you guys to see that lap 1. Lap 1, turn 1. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the camera and we're going to go look at it. Lap 1, turn 1. Here we go. From this point of view, all right, here we go. Let's see. We got some crashing before the start way at the back there. Or before the turn. But there we go. It was a great... I mean, there's some right in the middle here. But other than that, that was really, really good. We got some people off. But that, I mean, for 50 drivers on track, that was awesome. I'm really happy with that. That was awesome, guys. Oh, just saying, that was pretty good. With all of that said, the race is over. I'm going to get our podium guys in the booth with me to talk to them. Not Corey, I'm Corey, hello. Spelled without an E. Let me get these drivers pulled in. All right. I've got some drivers in the booth with me. I want to talk first with Nick Kanya. Hello, Mr. Kanya. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
So you had, while it may have been uneventful, it might have been eventful for you. Is that correct? You looks like lap 1 you started in third and then worked your way up. About halfway through the race was in second, and then by about like lap 19 or 20 you were in first and stayed in first till the end. How was it trying to get around some of these AM drivers?
Yeah, I mean, it's just gotta be consistent. You gotta be careful. Really kind of just set it up, right? So don't go for anything stupid and get yourself through, and eventually it'll pay off. And I think that really showed. I think I was the only one who didn't have contact this race out of the top 4 or 5. So yeah, just being careful and going where I can go.
Well, you did an awesome job. I was happy to see you cross the start-finish line in first at the end. With that said, Mr. Turai, you came in first for the silvers, but second place overall. How did you feel about tonight's race?
It was very stressful. There's a lot of back markers. You just never knew if you're gonna get killed or not. And I mean, I was lucky enough. There were some close calls, but overall, I was able to keep it in one piece. Just trying to be consistent was the name of the game.
Did you have any bonks or anything with anybody in the back, Adam?
At the start of the race, near the start of the race, I got bunked from behind by James. He just came in a little hot when me and Nick were fighting.
Oh.
So that gave me about 4 seconds of damage, but it wasn't anything bad. But other than that, there was just some close calls of me doing some crazy dodges. But yeah.
Well, good job overall getting that second place position at the for the final and first place for your split. So good job. With that said, Russell Harrell, you came in.
Yes, sir.
You came in third, second place, representing WRT as well. How was yours? I saw you get kind of in the mix near the last quarter of the race with a bunch of people that were racing for position. So how was that?
Yeah, yeah, I had a couple sketchy run-ins with some back markers. Unfortunately, I got flung off the track by a back marker. I had a 20-second or about 15-second gap on the lead, but I had to make sure I rejoined safely, so that cost me all that time. I had some really rough rear wing damage and some rear right suspension damage after that incident. And so I would have held second place, but unfortunately I couldn't keep the car on the road. So I spun once more and ended up in third. So,
hey, spinning and ending up in third is not a bad thing, though. I mean, that's still great being up in third.
Yep.
So that's second in your split, third overall. So
yes, sir.
Mr. Furnish, hello.
Hello.
You had a bad week last week, but this week you ended up in third in your split, fourth overall. How was it being with 50 drivers on track? Were you more worried, or how did you feel?
No, it was fun. I like the action. I think the AMs did a really good job of getting out of the way when they needed to and racing when they could. And I had a clean race, so I didn't get into any accidents. I had a great battle with Burkhoff. First half, tried to undercut him and stay in the lead, and I got caught up in some traffic, and he came out right in front of me. And then I don't know where he went. So I'm fortunate to be here. I never saw him get in an accident or anything. He just somehow ended up in the back. So sorry to him, but happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy to see you working your way up. It's funny that you started out the season. You said, I'm going to sign up as an AM, and look at you finishing top 5 overall. So you didn't belong in AM, and you might not belong in the Pro AM either. So you 3 in the top might end up going to pros. Just saying. With all of that said, Mr. Shane Subi Dodger, speaking of finishing up in the top, you finished in second in the AM split, but in 9th place overall with 50 drivers on track. Was that a challenge, or was it pretty relaxing for you?
It was definitely pretty nerve-wracking when I realized at one point I was behind Nico, Nick, Kanya, and behind me I had Casey. So that was pretty, just trying to drive a clean race and work on being patient, especially with some of the back markers, and turned out pretty well.
Well, good. It was great to see you working your way up. Are you worried about the possibility of moving up to the Pro-Am split at all?
I mean, the communities ran just awesome. I pinged pretty much everybody in here to help me move up. So if I move up, I move up, and either way, it's fun just ripping some bald eagles around whatever track we're on that week. So just here to have fun.
Bring them up.
Well, thank you guys for joining me in the booth tonight. Thank you guys for putting on a show, except for you guys up in the top 4 or 5. Furnish worked for his position, but you guys up in the top, you didn't work for nothing. You just sat there. But I watched Furnish
not
battling
work,
Mike.
I wasn't racing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we
Furnish
are
had to
working
battle,
on-
is what I'm
I came
saying.
from 11th. Yeah.
I don't know, I got second by going around the outside into Shikari.
Yeah, well,
Ascari.
Hey,
Shikari.
those back markers will make you work. You best believe. Holy smokes!
Well, next week now, guys, next week is going to be a little bit different. We are going to go into different times of day and stuff. We're going to go back to split servers again, but it is going to get a little bit more different. You're going to see different temperatures than what we're used to. We're not going to see different weather. If you guys want different weather, race in the intermediate series. But yeah, guys.
Next week is gonna be the P Cup, and then
True.
Jeez.
The following rookie week. So rookie week. So that'll be the following. You're
I
right.
won't be there though. This is my one and only race this season.
Well, it was good having you here either way.
No.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
With
But our
all of that
pace
said,
is
guys,
so close. It's so much fun.
I'm going to finish off the stream. If you guys would like to jump up and chat elsewhere, I'd appreciate that. I'm going to finish off the stream.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks, man. Have a good
Thanks.
night.
Yes, sir.
You too.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. With all of that said, he is right. We do have a April Fool's race coming up. It's going to be Porsche Cups at Donington Park, and I believe it's 2 30-minute races. Those cars are difficult to drive, especially in ACC. There's no traction control. Donington Park is a great track to race on. Putting the two together is a weird and odd combination, hence making it the April Fool's race. So we're excited for that next week. And then the intermediate series on Sundays will be streamed, starting upcoming this upcoming Sunday. Tony Danzig will be streaming it. So it'll be similar format to what you see here. Not as much information on screen, but yes, still similar. And with all of that said, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for making this an awesome race. I am going to raid Ames League. It looks like it's another league. And it looks like it's a console league. So go in there, show them some love. And I don't think we'll be streaming the April Fools, but we'll see you guys on Sunday if you're here. And feel free to go in there and say hi to the Ames League.